Hi, everyone. This is Giselle Shapiro, and welcome to the Black Women Speak Network. I am the founder and the CEO of Black Women Speak, the movement, the network, the upcoming book, and yes, we are focusing on the Black Women Speak book series. So stay tuned for that. And I'm also the senior producer of the Black Women Speak Network, and I'm excited to be interviewing our one of our co-authors today. Her name is Eraina Ferguson. She's a wonderful soul, and I'm just super excited to share her and her message with you. How are you doing today, Eraina?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm grateful. It feels like time is just whisking by and from day to day and week to week, but I'm grateful to be here and excited to be a part of this amazing project. It's been great to see it happen.
That's wonderful. And briefly share a little bit about your background. You've done an incredible amount of things in your life, and you're so young. I hate to say, but you are super young, but you have power. You have a powerful life.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I thank you, Giselle. I really appreciate it. Giselle, you've been amazing. I actually gave birth to my daughter at 20 years old. I grew up in the Midwest of Chicago, Midwest suburbs of Chicago. And I gave birth to my special needs daughter. She was born deaf at the age of 20, and I raised her on my own for 12 years before getting married, and we navigated 3 different cities, and I had the opportunity to get 3 academic degrees from those cities, including one from Boston College and Yale. And over the time, it was definitely one of those seasons of 12 years. We think about the lady with 12 issues of blood, that's biblical, but even those 12 years taught me so much, gave me the foundation of what I needed, but also created a life for me after, for me to be able to share my story with other people. And I built the brand called Good Life, which started as a blog in my dorm room at Yale.
That's beautiful. And the title of your chapter is called Army of One. Tell me why you decided to write the story that you're sharing in this book and why you gave it that title.
Yeah, so Army of One, it's interesting because you don't think of an army being one person, but being a single mom of a special needs child, it was just me and her a lot. And so me being the adult and the person that was responsible for her, I felt like it was just me in so many ways, but I had to be mighty and forceful and very deliberate in my actions. And so when I was young, I actually got a call from an Army recruiting officer who was trying to recruit my brother, but he changed my life. I talked to him on the phone. He just basically was like, maybe you should consider the National Guard. I knew I had to go to college, so I thought maybe this would be a great way to pay for it. So my parents signed the waiver when I was just 16 for me to sign up, and I went to basic training the summer after my junior year in high school, came back to high school for a year, and then went back to AIT. I was trained as a 71 Lima, which is an admin secretary in the military, and I went to Fort Leonard Wood for basic training in AIT in South Carolina. What that did for me was give me this base of how to survive alone, and also how to push past that inner feeling of, you ever been, worked out and you want to stop, you're tired, you don't have the stamina. It did something in me that helped me to mentally shift my thought process from a level of fatigue or suffering to the idea that I could do it through a level of grace. I remember one exercise we were doing in basic, all you had to do was hold your arms up, and there were people just falling out. We just had to hold both of our arms up like this. And there were people just mentally just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm suffering. They're falling because they had thought in their mind that this was a punishment and it was the worst thing. When really they let if they had their mind to shift, they would realize they were only just holding their arms up. And so I think that's what I felt like I was able to have differently. And that's why I named that chapter Army of One, for some of the stories that I went through during that time.
I think it's super amazing that you've led such an incredible life, and I do call you a Shiro because of your story and just getting to know you a little bit better. And you have those you have 3 academic degrees. How did you manage all of those? And your daughter, I presume that you had along the way while you were working towards these degrees.
I really had to be very deliberate and organized. I had to first decide that it would get done. I had to I remember being in undergrad and being in the computer lab, which I used the resources at the school. I used what was right in front of me. When I tell you that's the biggest piece of advice I could give at any stage of your life, everything you need is already in your inbox. Just use that. Don't go for anything else. Answer your emails, go to your promotions, use what you have. I utilized the resources at the universities, which was ideal to just make sure I got, if I needed extra tutoring, make sure my housing was nice, made sure that the dining hall at Yale threw her a 9th birthday party. They made her a cake. I made sure to just build relationships exactly where I was so that I was insulated. I was incubated. I was protected, because it was nothing like being a single mom and being out here in the world. The first place I moved when I moved to New York was Brooklyn, New York. And, most of the times when I get on a call or I get on these things, I always hold space. I hold space for the last 9 months and the way people have suffered. I usually care for the people I'm talking to and say, I don't know what you've been through, but I hear you, I see you. And one of the things I went through in this last 9 months is what everyone went through with the death of Chad Bossman. And I knew him in Brooklyn. He came to the coffee shop all the time. And I have a picture that went viral on LinkedIn of me and him standing in front of the coffee shop. And he had an Obama shirt on. He said, stop the drama, vote Obama. And it was like, it reminds me of that time, the strength that we had, that we didn't know that we were called to greatness. We didn't know that he would be called home so early. All we knew was what we were doing right then. And so when you ask how, it was that village in Brooklyn. It was that coffee shop. It was that neighbor. It was the people that looked out for us without even knowing that they were, the people that inspired us. It's what's getting us through this right now.
Exactly.
It's the book, it's the Black Women's, it's the book that we're doing.
It's the community, the sisterhood, because we need each other just to get through all of this. One point that you made in your book, calmness had become your currency. Can you just elaborate a little bit about that?
Yes. I think you have to have a level of calm. I know, and it's so funny because my husband would probably say, what's she talking about calm? I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. But when it's just me and I'm that army of one, I know I have to be calm. I know that I have to have a level of peace. I know I have to not be reactionary in a way because it's just me. If I do that, then I'll get the reaction. I remember being at the head of the table with like 9 adults, all white around me at the age of 24 at an IEP meeting for my daughter in New York. That's when I knew that I was outnumbered, but I could outsmart. I knew that I was not going to be able to say, someone come with me, or go there and cry, this and that. There was no Facebook. There was no ACLU. There was no all these organizations. There was no, talking about a brand on Twitter and yelling out, you hurt me. There was none of that. It was me right there having to win, having to be calm and quiet and deliberate so that I can strategize to outsmart these 9 people and to make sure that I got what I needed from my daughter. And also while being protective, because those were the days, just like in slavery, that they could take your child with special needs. So their child better be clean. You better be clean. You better be above par. And so if I'm honest, I might have gone for some of those things, the shiny stuff, the Ivies and all of that, so I wouldn't be shut down. I knew I had to become a part of a cohort and in a spirit of excellence that was undeniable. Yes. I needed my card. I paid for it. I earned it. And I got it so that I can be the best advocate for her. Well, and so that's, No,
now you've justified why you're a Shiro. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And I had to be back then. It was a fear. It was a fear. It was like somebody was chasing you. And now I feel like our generation this generation here is blessed to be able to say, ouch, it hurts, to be able to speak for themselves, to be able to be heard. People have suffered and nearly killed themselves for the opportunity for us to be able to say, oh, you offended me, or, oh, this should be different. So,
well, Eraina, what pulls at your heartstrings right now, given the current state of our country?
you know, it's the lies. It's the division. You know, I feel very privileged to live in a state where I feel free. Mm-hmm. I know nothing is perfect, but I wake up every day feeling like the person outside is going to respect me. I go to Target, I feel like the person behind the counter is going to respect me. I remember there was a woman who was pushing her cart into me, and I would go into this Target all the time. I spent thousands of dollars there, right? I feel like it's my Target. So the security team knows me. And I remember going to him and saying, she pushed her cart against me. He said, no problem. I got it. And so it's not a time that people get to do certain things. When I lived in other geographic places, you better not say anything. Yeah. I remember living in Texas, and this guy, the car door hit my car. And I remember getting out and saying, oh, my husband gonna buy me a new one anyway, because everybody had guns. And so
exactly,
grandma carry a gun, the baby carry a gun, auntie carry a gun, mama carry. So we didn't have a gun, but so, we don't do guns, but my point is, I feel very privileged now to live in that place. So I am owning my privilege. That's number one. I'm owning that I can call someone right now, people in positions of power that will advocate for me right now, who would advocate for me and my husband. I feel safe. That's a privilege. Yes. I can't cry wolf right now. I would be lying. So that's number one. I'm grateful for that. But I really don't like the lies. I don't like the division. I don't like the strife. I don't like the way that they're using our ancestors' stories to just really just negate at that. It's like the oversaturation. It's like that song that you hear on the radio 1,000 times to the point that it makes you nauseous. It's supposed to make you sick because they're trying to overdo it so that you never want to hear it again. Yeah. That's what they're doing to us and our people and our stories, because it seems like they're advocating for us, and they, denounce white supremacy, denounce white supremacy. But that really made me sad, because it's thinking, of course you're supposed to denounce that, but now you're perverting it.
Exactly.
You're perverting our thing. And so I don't like it.
The more we get our voices out there, the better. And I have a strong feeling that this is going to help us move forward and to bring much needed change that we need in the world. So I'm just glad that you have this perspective that you do. You live where I used to live.
Yeah.
I'm in Texas.
Oh, so hey, you free, baby. You free. You free by the card. Your card is in your back pocket. I'm free.
Oh, God, I'll tell you. So tell me, Eraina, what are a few possible solutions for peace in the world?
I think it's an inside job. I said this from the very beginning of the pandemic. I say it now. People think that term means something that's going to be like controversial or something that's going to be conspiracy theorists. When I say this entire thing is an inside job, because it is. We all have to go within ourselves to deal with ourselves. We all have to deal with our character, our truth. We have to be able to stand for what we believe in. We are forever change. George Floyd did that for us. It was today or yesterday is his birthday. And so, he helped me, a person who was always the kind of go along and don't make too many waves Black person. He made me have to say enough is enough. I always denounce anything having to do with racism, let's be clear. And I stand for what I believe in. You clearly can see I'm probably not a docile person. But I did like to bring about an element of peace. But I did realize that at some point you have to stand. And example, case in point, I was applying for a job, and this job sent me through the ringer. 8 weeks of asking me more and more questions so that they can source my information and use it. It's private university for their own good. I really wanted to believe the best in them. And by the end, I was like, they never had no intention of hiring me. They were using my expertise to be able to like build their website. I knew I was overqualified. I nailed the position. In the end, I finally called them to it. I sent them a $10,000 invoice. I spoke up for myself and I said, you stole my ideas. You sourced not just me, but other candidates to do a poll of what could be done to further your system. You probably never hired anyone, but you didn't pay us. We were free consultants, masked as potential employees.
I experienced that as well.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's hurtful. It's terrible. It's traumatizing. What if I didn't have like money or anything? Like, what if I was trying to feed my family off of that and that?
Yeah.
So I emailed them and I stood up for myself. So I think, and one of the quotes that I said is what I'll finish with in terms of this question. I said to them, we should all be changed after this quarantine, after this COVID. It should make us braver, stronger, more deliberate people. I am speaking up for myself because you did X, Y, and Z. And so it feels good to finally do that. George Floyd helped me do that. Like that helped me do that. It's not just against, systems and such, or like this person, that person, a black, white thing. It's the level of what's right and wrong.
Exactly. And that's what prompted this book, right after George Floyd. I think all of our lives changed. We all felt what happened to him and just had to just stand up for what we felt was wrong and to move forward with what we felt was right. And as far as the pandemic, our lives have been changed. We're more resilient because if anybody can get through something as dangerous as this, we'll be in 2021 much stronger, much wiser. I think we've grown a lot closer as a community. We won't tolerate much now, so true. I am it's while I'm sad about what happened to George Floyd, but look at the impact that he's made. It's traveled all over the world. So we can be grateful for the change that had to happen because of him. I'm still saddened by the loss and other issues regarding, law enforcement and the things that we're dealing with in the world. Now, tell me, what do you believe? Do you believe the world needs more Black women to speak and to share their voices?
I really do. And I think it's the narratives and the stories that transform. It's the story, the stories about, what is important. So sorry.
Just hold on a minute. I'm sure you know that Eraina has her family, and this happened unexpectedly, so I'm sure she's coming back. No worries, no worries. It's a part of life.
It's a part of the life.
Probably through the pandemic, Eraina, and through the pandemic, this is the first.
Yes, I know. It's like the Zoom bomb by your kid. No, so yes, Giselle, it has definitely been one of those seasons where we realize that through our voices being heard, it's so great to see content on major networks like Netflix and hearing our voices and our stories heard. And I'm so encouraged by some of the amazing women that are speaking and how they are speaking out of the lessons that they learned from some of the deepest pain that some people don't survive. And so I'm encouraged by that. Some of the women that you shared and some of their stories, I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Quite amazing, and they'll be life-changing. And I'm just super excited that we had a chance to speak with you and get our viewers to get to know you a little bit better and get a little bit of information about your story, because you're an amazing woman. You're super talented. You're versatile. You do the TEDx, correct?
Yes.
What do you do with the TEDx?
So I'm a curator of TEDx events. I first started my first TEDx event in 2018. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing to be able to give women the opportunity to speak and tell their stories. I had 14 speakers. The first cohort this last year, I had 12 or 13, and this time I have 6. I have 6 speakers, and you know, I believe that it's going to be an amazing time. We're going to actually pre-record the talks, and we'll do the footage and then do a live stream, no audience, per COVID regulations, and just making sure that we're adhering to everything that we need to, but getting this out there. I think being fearless, and this is the theme of this year's event, is something that we all need. And these women are just beautiful. They're gorgeous. And the fact that they stayed gorgeous for the last 8 months makes me encouraged that we as women can get through this together.
Good. Amen. And you know, I really want to thank you so much for this time we've been able to spend together and to get to know you. It's been great interviewing you, and I'm just super excited to share that you can purchase Black Women Speak.
Yes.
By going to the website and ordering the book now. And the website is www.blackwomenspeakthebook.com. And please make sure you subscribe to the Black Women Speak Network so that you could stay in tune with all these fantastic interviews. And I really want to thank you for your time, and God bless you. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, Eraina. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.